All right, 8th graders, we are on the very last page of your packet, and we're going to finish this up. I would actually like you to try this on your own before you watch me do this. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint, and then I want you to see if you can get the actual answers. So you're looking at 3 triangles in this one triangle. You've got the little triangle right here. You've got the medium-sized triangle right here. Oh boy. And you've got the big triangle right here. So there are 3 triangles that you are looking at. Now, whoops. Okay. Now, if you're looking at the red triangle, you know that this angle's 30 and this angle's 90. So this angle has to be 60 because the 3 angles of a triangle add to give you 180. If this angle is 60, this one would have to be 30 because these 2 add to give you 90. And if this is 90 down here, this one is also 90 because together those add to make 180. They're a straight line. And so if you're looking at the small black triangle, this would have to be 60 because 30, 60, 90. That gives you 180. So your small black triangle is a 30, 60, 90. Your medium red triangle is also a 30, 60, 90. And your big green triangle is a 30, 60, 90. So start with the black triangle. See if you can get the unknowns and see if you can fill out every unknown and answer the 3 questions below. So you're going to hit pause right now. And when you think you have it, you're going to hit play and then watch me. So, in the small black triangle, we know that the side across from the 30 is 8. So, the side across from the 90 is twice 8. That's 16. Therefore, the side across from the 60 is 8 times the square root of 3. You could also have done 16 squared minus 8 squared and gotten it that way. It'd be the square root of whatever 64 times 3 is. So now you're looking at the red triangle. In the red triangle, the side across from the 30 is 8 square root of 3. So the side across from the 90 is twice that. So that's 16 square root of 3. That's twice 8 square root of 3. Then the side across from the 60 is 8 square root of 3 times the square root of 3. That's kind of weird, isn't it? So if you actually do this, the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is the square root of 9, which is 3. So this is really 8 times 3, which is 24. All right, so the red part is 24, which means the entire green part is 8 plus 24, because this one was 8, which is 32. Okay, so the first question says find the perimeter of A, B, C. So that's actually the big green triangle. So that is 32. Wow, this pen is really hard to work with. 16 plus 32 plus 16 square root of 3. Okay, so 16 plus 32 are like terms. That's 48. You can't put the root 3 with a number, so your answer is 48 plus 16 root 3. So if you can read that, it says 48 plus 16 root 3. All right, the next question says find the area of that triangle. So you need to locate the base and the height. Perimeter is like if you were going to put a fence around it, how much fence would you need? So you're just adding the three sides. Area is like if you're going to lay carpet, how much carpet you would need to cover the whole triangle. So this is your base, and this is your height because they are perpendicular, because they hit to make a 90-degree angle. So one of them's flat and one of them's tall. The base and the height could be they could be changed, but one of them's the base and one of them's the height. So the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So the base was 16 right here, and the height is 16 times the square root of 3 divided by 2. Okay, so when you multiply, you can bring up your calculator, and you can multiply 16 times 16, so that's 256. And then if you divide that by 2, you have 128. So you could outright this as 128 times the square root of 3. So 16 times 16 is 128. The square root of 3 is 256. The square root of 3 is left there, and you're dividing by 2. The last question says find the area of ACD and BCD. Okay, so ACD is this little triangle right here. So in the little triangle, the base, is 8, and the height is 8 root 3, because again, you're looking at the two legs of the triangle. That's your base and height, because together those hit to give you a 90-degree angle. So 8 times 8 square root of 3 divided by 2. So 8 times 8 is 64. And 64 divided by 2 is 32. So that's your answer for triangle ACD. And then BCD, that's this triangle right here, the middle-sized triangle. Again, the 90-degree angle is right here. So your base is, remember, it was 8 root 3 times root 3. So that was 8 times 9. Oh my gosh. This is just not working. So that base is 24, and the height is 8 square root of 3. So this is 24 times 8 square root of 3 divided by 2. Now, I would probably divide the 24 by 2 first. So this is 12 times 8 square root of 3. You might want to put that in parentheses. And 12 times 8, 8 times 2 is 16. And 8 times 1 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. So this is really 96 square root of 3. We're leaving the square root of 3 as the square root of 3 because as soon as you write a decimal, you have rounding error. So how'd you do? Hopefully good. Let me give you another quick little sample test problem. One for a 30, 60, 90, and one for a 45, 45, 90. So 30, 90, 60, and the side across from the 90 is 22. Go ahead and hit pause, see if you can find the other two sides. So again, the rule is that the side across from the 30 is x, the side across from the 90 is twice x, and the side across from the 60 is x times the square root of 3. So that would mean that this is 11, and this is 11 root 3. All right, try this. That's supposed to be a 90. So this is a 45, 45, 90. And the side across from the 90 is 7 root 2. Go ahead and hit pause, see if you can find the two sides across from the 45. So to remember the rule of the 45, 45, 90, the sides across from the 45 are the same, which is x, and the side across from the 90 is x times the square root of 2. So both of the sides across from the 45 would be 7. Okay, now we're going to try trickier ones, then we'll call it a night. Okay, so 30, 60, 90. You have to know these are 30, 60, 90s to be able to do this. So let's say the side across from the 60 is 4. Now, if you want, go ahead and pause and see if you can do this. If you're feeling stressed, keep listening. So, typically, the side across from the 30 is x, the side across from the 90 is twice x, and the side across from the 60 is x times the square root of 3. Now, this doesn't have a square root of 3, so we need to get rid of it. So, our answer for x right here would be 4 divided by square root of 3. Now, you're not supposed to have square roots in the denominator, so as a little side note, if you want to be super precise right now, to get rid of that, you would need to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by the same thing, which is square root of 3, to get rid of the square root of 3. That gets rid of the square root of 3 because the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is 3. So this simplifies to 4 root 3. We're going to do a whole unit on square roots, so I don't want you to stress about this just yet. I will take that as an answer, but just so you know, by the end of the year, you're going to be needing to write things like this. Okay, and then the other side is twice that number, so twice 4 over the square root of 3 is just 8 over the square root of 3. Let's try another one like that. Remember, these triangles can be any way. I know this is the 30 because it's across from the smallest side. So the side across from the 60 we'll say is 13. Okay, go ahead and hit pause, see if you can get this. Let me write the rules out. The side across from the 60 is x, the side across from the 90 is twice x, and the side across from the 60 is x times the square root of 3. So if we know that the side across from the 60 is 13, we have to get rid of that square root of 3. So across from the 30 we will divide. So this is really 13 divided by root 3. If you want, you can simplify. And then the side across from the 90 is twice that. So that is 26 divided by the square root of 3. Twice 13. If you multiply the top by 2, the whole thing is doubled. And then one more little thing with the 45, 45, 90. So let's say across from the 90, you have the number 8. Again, if you think you can do this, go ahead and pause. If not, I'll take you through one and then you can try one. So again, the rule here is that these are both x, and this is x divided by the square root of 2. So to get rid of that divide by the square root of 2, your answer would be, whoa, hold on, gotta erase. And this is x times the square root of 2. So to get rid of that square root of 2, you would need to divide, even though you don't see the square root of 2 there. So this is 8 divided by the square root of 2, and this is the same exact answer. If you want to write that in better form, you would multiply both the top and bottom by square root of 2. If that hypotenuse was 8 root 2, both of the other sides would be 8, and you actually get that by dividing by the square root of 2. Typically, that will just cancel. So that's why the square root of 2 is not there. That's why the square root of 2 appears here. because of that rule. So let me give you one grand finale one to try. We'll say the side across from the 90 is 30. What are the sides across from the 45? Go ahead and hit pause. Okay, I hope you got it. 30 divided by the square root of 2. So, if you have a right triangle and you know it is either a 30, 60, 90 or a 45, 45, 90, you can find all of the sides if you are only given one side because of the 30, 60, 90 rule and the 45, 45, 90 rule. Awesome. I hope that makes wonderful sense. Have a lovely night.